We're live. Thank you, and welcome to Fallon's Daily Toast. Joining me are two of my favorite people in the world, Eric Love,
Yes.
Alexis Moisand. And so thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Fallon.
Thanks for having us.
No problem.
This is great.
This is so great. So let's talk a little bit about LARPing. My description of what LARPing is isn't going to match quite what yours is. So tell the audience what it is that LARPing is all about.
Oh, I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
I did a great job.
Thanks.
I mean, it's kind of, you are going to assume a persona and have an experience in the world. So it's like if you could imagine walking into a book or a game, like a video game that you like, or a movie, and you get to be the main character. That's what you're going to do, and you're going to, like I said, assume that persona, and an environment will be built for you to kind of interact with while other players are doing the same thing. So, I mean, it is a little bit hard to understand when you're like, wait, who's the hero? It's like, well, you're all heroes, but like the choices that you make decide what kind of hero you are. And then the people running the event are the people that are there to support you, be the villain, be your ally, kind of make the environment the playground through which you can act through and have an experience. I really love LARP because I can be different people, and I can go and be a good guy or be a bad guy, but then I can go back to my normal life and forget about what I did, or maybe change my life because I had a good time with it. I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
no, of course, of course. You've been doing this now for how many years?
like over 10 years. So
Over
16
10 years.
Yeah.
That's
I've
crazy.
been doing it professionally for 14 years.
Wow. And was it something, let me ask you, like, just a little history, how did you get into LARP, and what was it that compelled you and inspired you?
Well, we have our different experiences, but
Yeah.
I was a fine artist first and an actor second, and I was just bored of teaching conventional styles of art, and I didn't feel like people were really excited by that. And I was also a performing artist with a band, and I realized people weren't really excited by that. And then I went to this LARP, and I just realized, wow, this is really good. And I just stopped everything else because I just kind of saw it as a secondary experience.
Yeah.
I mean, LARP has everything. It's theater, right? And theater has every art form, but then you make it an open world theater, and now it's just like, okay, you know how to make candles really well, where there's something in the LARP for that, you know, or like you are awesome at business and economics, well, there's something in the LARP for that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, that was a turning point for me, and I kind of stopped focusing on painting, writing, and playing music, and I just really focused on what LARP could offer myself and other people.
Right, and that's creating a variety, excuse me, of different experiences for all ages.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's amazing. Like, everyone loves it. It's kind of weird. It's like it's like a movie or music. Everyone just loves it. So,
Yeah. And what about you, Alexi? Like, how did you get started?
Well, my experience is rooted in Eric, really. I was volunteering at an organization where Eric worked doing this crazy LARP thing. Something I'd never seen before, though I was kind of aware of its existence. And Eric needed help at some point, so I decided to help out. And then it was just this very interesting thing. I started helping out more. I realized that this was really the avenue for me in terms of artistic expression, and also an activity where I felt I could really contribute. Because it's not just about the entertainment and the fun of this activity, it's also a really great way to develop yourself as a person. And we have a lot of experience that because in the following few years after we met, we formed a company together, and we started doing after-school programming and summer camps with kids, using LARP as a way to help them develop their personalities and develop their community skills. And so that they could work together to be better people and to be better to each other. And so I was really interested in this, and I decided to kind of make this my career. And the two of us now, we work full-time doing this, providing LARP experiences to youth, to adults, and it's been an absolutely thrilling ride.
Yeah, and the thing about LARP too is there are so many different styles of LARPing. As you said, I mean, you can create any environment that you want, and there's someone that's going to love whatever it is that you do. So, for instance, this Nordic style LARP that you have coming up called Legends of the Stars in September.
Yeah, terrifying but awesome.
Yeah.
Terrifyingly awesome is really what it is.
Terrifyingly awesome, literally.
It is a terrifyingly awesome location as well.
It is. It's at Battleship Cove. It's in Fall River. And oh, we have a phone call. We are taking phone calls.
Yeah, we're taking phone calls.
right,
Let's do
all
this.
right.
Maybe it's for Neil Brown.
All right, who knows?
Neil Brown's shooting us right now.
Okay,
so-
hey, you're tuning in to Fallon's Daily Toast.
Hello?
Hi. Hello, welcome. You're on air live right now on Fallon's Daily Toast. We're talking about Legends of the Stars with Eric Love and Alexis Moisand.
So, tell me more about this program.
So, Legends of the Stars is a Nordic LARP, and what that means is we are inviting people to come onto these battleships and take on a persona from a universe inspired by Star Wars and other science fiction and fantasy adventures. You take on the role of the bounty hunter, the Jedi soldier, the merchant, and you are trying to play out this character to the best of your abilities. And what we do as organizers is we create an open world environment. So wherein the battleships become a space station hosting an intergalactic conference, and you are a representative making decisions that'll affect the fate of the universe. You get 3 nights and 4 days on the battleship with workshops, the in-game experience, all of your meals, sleeping quarters in the battleship itself, and pretty much free reign over not just the USS Massachusetts, which is the trademark battleship that they have, but a destroyer, a cruiser, a submarine, and all of the access and resources that we can provide.
Now, what sort of cool weapons do I get to use?
Good question. Good question.
And this is interesting because what part of Nordic LARP is we have a different way of doing conflict resolution than most. So you will have, your sabers, you'll have your blasters, you'll have something called the Source, which is kind of like what you might see in Star Wars, like the Force, but a little different too. We put our own spin on it. And players will be able to interact with each other, and we'll teach more about this in the workshops. But our main rule is that conflict resolution is through role play, not mechanics. So it's not, like what might you find in Dungeons and Dragons or a video game where you have hit points and you do certain amounts of damage. It's about what makes the scene better. So do you take the hit from the blaster or the saber? Is that going to add to the scene? And we've had some really strong successes with this model to create amazing stories.
Yeah, awesome.
So it's not just wackadoodle trying to hit the other as much as possible. It's let's create an awesome theatric experience with combat.
Now I have my own live blade. Is it okay if I bring that?
Your own weapon?
Is it a real lightsaber?
No, it's a samurai sword.
Oh, you're sweet.
Is it a real sword then?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, we can't. We don't want to have live steel on the battleship because that's how accidents happen. Devices that look like real swords with the fiberglass core that we can provide or you can get online. And those are super safe and super friendly, and they look real, and it's almost impossible to hurt yourself with one of those. So we would equip you or anybody else with something like that, or you could equip yourself. But we don't want to have any real.
I have to be careful because I have these Wesley Snipes fantasies.
What is that? A Wesley Snipes what?
Fantasy?
Fantasy?
Blade.
Sure.
Which fantasy is that? There's a lot of Wesley Snipes fantasies.
Blade 1 and 2.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? I love that character. I think that's my favorite vampire, actually. Out of any vampire that years go by, I always go back to Blade, and that would be such a great character to have at this. Because I love how conflicted Blade is, and that he's a real paladin. He has his own set of rules, and he's going to figure out how to make those rules work in all these different situations. I would love to see a character like that develop on the battleship.
And I think that's one of the things that you can take out of LARPing is that you can be pretty much anything you want. You can take these aspects that, I don't know the circumstances of your life, but I imagine that being the vampire from Blade isn't exactly something part of your daily routine.
Right.
And that's the cool thing about LARPing, that you can make that fantasy a reality. And we create the environment in which you can do that. And I think that is, personally, for me, what Legends of the Stars is about.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Sounds quite interesting.
Thank you so much, Henry Parker. Thanks for calling.
Okay.
I knew it was you.
Awesome questions.
Yeah,
Thank you.
awesome questions. Thank you so much,
Okay,
love.
thanks.
Bye.
Awesome.
Great guy.
Yeah.
So this is something too, What do you find? I mean, now you have, just like I said, all ages. I mean, you have everyone from what age group does it start?
7 is the
And
youngest.
then it goes up to adults. Like you're actually creating LARP experiences for CEOs and scientists, like guys that work together that want to get away for a weekend and just as Henry kind of live out their fantasy.
Yeah.
That's so fabulous.
It's kind of fun. I mean, Legends of the Stars is 18 plus because we want adults to be able to have an environment where they can really open up and express themselves and not have to be like, oh my goodness, there's a child in the room, I need to watch my language, or is this emotional content that I'm experiencing, is that okay? You know, so we want to create a safe environment for everybody. Obviously, consent, and the workshops will help you learn how do I create a drama experience and create some tension and conflict without like crossing someone's boundaries, and the workshops help you figure out how to do that in a way that doesn't feel artificial. I mean, when we do scenes, Alexi and I, we can constantly check in with each other, but there's moments where I just go have like an hour cry or an hour laugh because I was like, that was so amazing, and then that becomes part of my character, and it's awesome. And that's theater. Like, I get to feel that this is real and not just watch the story. I'm gonna feel it, with my toes, with my fingertips, with my nose, and I'm gonna walk away from this experience. So, people imagine what virtual reality could be maybe 10 years from now. I mean, which LARP's just gonna make it even more awesome. But that's kind of what it is. Like, I'm gonna go into the Matrix and have another life, and then I'll come out of the Matrix. And that's what LARP is, really. Yeah.
And so for this one coming up, now you do a bunch. I mean, there's one called Infection. Talk a little bit about that, because that's a favorite of Alexan's.
One of our favorites.
Yeah.
Infection is probably one of our more popular adult games, and I think it's a very accessible media. The premise is it's zombie survival. An infection that started at MIT in Boston has overtaken the country. The rules of society have fallen apart, and we are here picking up the pieces with the survivors.
Wow. All right, we got another
call. Yes.
All right, cool. Hey, thanks for tuning into Fallon's Daily Toast. What's going on? You're live right now.
Oh, that's good.
Good. Hey, what kind of questions do you have for us here?
Well, I got a question for Alexi.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, yes. I have a question for Alexi. I was wondering, talking about the Legends of the Stars, if he could go into a little detail about the ships that are there.
Absolutely. So we have Battleship Cove, if you're not familiar, is the largest collection of historic naval vessels in the world. They have the battleship USS Massachusetts, which served in World War II.
It is, yeah.
And the thing you have to understand about battleships is that it is a city on the water. These things are 5, 6, 7 stories tall.
Yeah,
you can get lost. It's a maze down in the guts of the ship.
Yeah.
But besides the battleship, we have the USS Joseph P. Kennedy, which is a destroyer, and then we have the cruiser, the Hidden Sea, and then there's the submarine, the Lionfish. And all of these ships have completely different styles. They have different numbers of levels. They're physically from different countries. The Hidden Sea is actually East German, and the
so cool.
The Lionfish has seen service in a number of different militaries, and it's really interesting because you get to experience this part of our history, which we often say that like battleships are the castles of America.
Yeah.
These are the monuments of our history. And you get to experience that by going into this sci-fi, this fantasy adventure. But you're still on this living piece of history. And you are staying in the bunks of these sailors that fought for our country for many wars. And it's so inspiring, and I think it adds a lot to the atmosphere and the environment of the game when you are on these impressive, tools of war.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel the power. Like when you walk on one of these things and your head has to look up and you can't even see the rest of it, and then you kind of go like this, and you realize you're about to walk into one of these things, and there's this feeling of awe, like you're like on an ant on like a giant like gun or something. It's so sci-fi. I mean, a lot of the designs for Star Wars obviously came from World War II. I mean, the Millennium Falcon is made from broken up parts of models and re-glued together, and so much anime and fiction and stories comes out of that time and that era. And because we've seen that shape and that art and that form through movies for all over the ages. I mean, take Aliens, for example. You know, the whole ship is literally like a big machine gun in space. And because we've seen this idolatry, and then it's come into games like Halo and more modern games like Destiny, and we've been told that this is the environment, to go back to its original source, your subconscious knows that, and your imagination just like blows up as if you're at something that you can't imagine, and you get really excited. And you know, I go on these battleships and I don't need anything else other than just to be by myself and run around with the camera all day, and I want to go back for more. So I'm really excited to see everyone get together, be in all our cool outfits and costumes, and assume these personas of these other people, and have this intergalactic, space peace conference that has all this mystery and mayhem underneath.
And I think this is an interesting point because, like we mentioned, the history of these battleships is war, but we're kind of putting a contrast to that with the actual premise of the event. We're not looking at the war happening on the ship. We are looking at these three warring factions actually coming together for a peace conference that has a few mysterious things going on underneath it.
Yes.
And I think that'll provide an interesting contrast
I do too.
with the history of these ships that our players are coming together for these peace negotiations, essentially.
Seems like we got another caller. Hello, thanks. You're tuning into Fallon's Daily Toast. We're live right now on the air. What questions do you have for Eric and Alexi?
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hey, I just got a question. But first of all, I just want to say, I'm really looking forward to Legends of the Stars. But I'm also really looking forward to. You guys mentioned Infection. I kind of mean to put you on the spot, but. When can we expect the next Infection game?
Ooh.
Wow.
When is the next Infection game?
I suppose, we had another announcement we were going to make later on, but I suppose we can do this as well. We are aiming for Infection, I guess it's 6 at this point, the 6th run of our Infection game to be either the weekend before or the weekend after Halloween of this year.
Whoa.
And I'm glad you're excited because we are excited too.
Awesome. That is such good news. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't mean to take up your time. I'll let other people get in line, and I guess I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you.
Love y'all.
Thanks for calling. Bye.
Actually, the cool thing about Infection this year is it's going to be kind of the natural finale of the storyline.
Yeah, I think.
So after this point, we're going to go back to the beginning of the story. So we will have actually gone through 6 years of Infection history and seen the natural conclusion of what happens when that sort of thing happens to us.
And I'll be getting just like the tail end because I'm participating in Infection.
It's such a bizarre game because you're playing yourself in the dystopian apocalypse, and we always question, well, what would happen? What kind of person would I be if there was no government, if there was no police, if there were no rules? And then 2 days into Infection, you find out real fast, and it's surprising and freeing and beautiful and revealing about things about your human soul. Because I think we all struggle with this idea that, are we good? Are we evil? What horrible acts am I capable of if there was no one to stop me? And then, like I said, 2 days into Infection, you find out. And then you're like, okay, maybe I love this person anyways. And that is such a beautiful, humane experience to have. And I just personally love Infection, and I play the most ruthless, insane character, and no regrets, and I can't wait to play again.
So what was this announcement that you were going to make?
Yeah, so what we're really excited for is we've been talking back and forth with Battleship Cove, and they have said that we have the ability to scale back the capacity of the event to any level we want, because they're really dedicated to bring this event. So regardless of whether the Kickstarter succeeds or fails, we are running this event no matter what, September 15th.
So it's happening,
Yes,
it's real.
happening.
Yeah. It's not like maybe happening, it's happening.
It's happening.
It is absolutely
That is
100%
so
happening.
incredible to hear. It's confirmed. This is going through.
If we have 10 tickets or if we have 150, we're running this event no matter what.
And this is 3 days, 4 days, 3 days?
4 days,
4
3
days,
nights.
3
So
nights.
actually, I guess we can talk a little about the logistics of the event.
Yeah.
It's 3 nights, 4 days. So it's a Thursday to a Sunday. We do workshopping for the first couple of hours as you get used to the ship's facilities. Because unlike most sites, we really do need to take you on a tour of the boats.
Yeah, you'll get lost.
Because you will get lost.
Yeah,
You'll still get lost, but you'll get less lost after the tour.
Yeah.
Then game starts Thursday night, where you are introduced to this the story and all of these different factions are appealing to the participants, and they're trying to get them to commit to all of these different ideas and actions. Then you go into Saturday, and it's all about learning new technologies, new demonstrations of these things that these fractions have been working on, cutting deals, making decisions, and the entire time there's this lobbying going on, because at the end of the event, there is going to be a major decision made about the fate of the universe.
And whether galaxies like it or not, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen, and everyone has come to this conference agreeing that they'll respect the decision. So the entire time there's this political game going on, and maybe you care about it, maybe you don't, but your vote is worth something.
And for those of you who like something deeper and more creepy, we have something for you.
Oh.
So that goes through Friday, and then Friday night it's again more of the social activities, and there's all these other side objectives, and each participant brings their own play, their own plot. Saturday, it's wrapping up these workshops, these demonstrations. It's the final amount of campaigning. Then the final vote is done Saturday night. Or Saturday evening. Everyone goes to get ready for this big party that they've said, look, we've made these decisions, let's have a party.
Yeah.
And at the end, roughly around midnight Saturday, we announce the results, and the decisions are unfolded, and we kind of give an idea of what might happen as a result of those decisions.
That sounds so exciting.
Then Sunday, we kind of do some debriefing, we pack out, and we say goodbye to the battleships until next time.
Wow. Oh, wow. So if you're tuning in and you're interested, because we're running now on, we've got about, 5 minutes?
5 minutes or so, yeah.
Yeah, if you're interested, if those that are watching now, how do they find you? How do they get in touch?
So we're on Kickstarter right now,
Okay.
and that is Legends of the Stars. The tickets start at $300, and that is for 3 nights stay on the battleships and the sailors' bunks, including all of your meals, which, I mean, compared to a regular hotel stay is not much at all.
Yeah, it's
Plus
on the battleship is so
in-game experience. You get an individualized character from your own system that you're representing, and you get full access to all the resources that our professional staff can bring in terms of LARPing experience and the environment we'll create. And then there are upgrades. We have captain's quarters available for about $500 a head. We even have the Admiral's quarters, which is really cool. Right at the top of the bridge, it is an individualized bedroom, private bathroom, this huge office. It is amazing. The views are great.
You walk in there, you feel like you're in charge.
You feel like you're in
everything,
charge.
yeah.
And it also comes with the in-game benefit of you are
in charge.
You are in charge of the space station. That's really cool. So look us up on Kickstarter at Legends of the Stars. You can also find us on Facebook, Legends of the Stars, and we'll be posting a lot of new content, kind of explaining a lot of the questions that have come up, and also letting people know what we're going to move forward with, regardless of how the Kickstarter does with this event.
Yeah, and in general, I wanted, before we end this, can you talk to the parents at home that have children that are like really interested in participating in some of these? Why is it so important for kids? Why is it so important? Why would it be so important to get a LARP adventure program in a curriculum, for instance, at schools? Could you give us a little bit of what's so beneficial?
What we've seen is that youth growing up today have a lot of societal impressions. They're looking to work within the boundaries of what society says, and we provide a safe space for them to explore their personalities. We get them outside, we get them in nature, we get them even to historic monuments like this. They're learning social skills, they're learning community skills, all in a fun and entertaining way. What we see from a lot of our kids is once they get into this is their thing. It's like their soccer, it's like their theater. It's like their chess club or whatever, and they are so enthusiastic, and they bring such artistry together just by being around one another. I mean, we're just facilitating. The kids do all of the work.
They do all the work. I mean, and they become friends for their lives. It's an amazing, beautiful community with cross-generational education, and the high school kids are helping the middle school kids come into high school, and then the middle school kids can help the elementary school kids figure things out, and then we have a launch program that goes from high school into college, and then we have connections to help people out to get to the professional world. So it's this beautiful threshold of people. One of my favorite quotes was a child said, at LARP Adventure Program, they don't let you be shy. You end up having 100 best friends within a month, and that's
so
beautiful.
if you're interested in Legends of the Stars, Infection, or our youth programming, LARP Adventure Program, Legends of the Stars, we're on all sorts of platforms. Look us up. And I think that brings us, we have 15 seconds left.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. This will be the last time that you see these two. I'd like to have you on another live show. Maybe we could all dress in character and
I like that. That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be so good.
Okay, cool. All right, done.
Yes.
So good. That was great. Fun stuff. How does conflict resolution work out in Legends of the Stars?
So our big thing is conflict resolution should be through role play, not mechanics. So it's not like video games where you have hit points and you're doing damage. It's about what makes the best scene for people. And we have a really successful way to do this, and we'll workshop this at the beginning of the event. We can kind of give you a small demonstration now. And kind of one of the things we encourage through this system is what we call the bad guy talking, namely that you're introducing what you want your role play partner to do through the dialogue that you're creating. So for instance, if I was using the Source, which is something that you might relate to the Star Wars Force, which is something that's inherent in all of us, a force that we can use to move things, to control people's bodies, all of that. So if I wanted to say have Eric drop the pen, okay, I would introduce this in combat by saying, and let's pretend it's a blaster or something. That's looking like it's weighing down in your hands, sir. What makes this work is that Eric decided how that worked out, right? He took my cues, but he ended up deciding how it affects him. So maybe he has a source shield on, right? And he's protecting himself from these sorts of attacks. If he thinks the best scene is that he resists. So for instance, I say the same thing. Looks like that blaster is weighing down in your hand. But you can see how he's defending himself.
The idea is that I'm going to do a hand movement, and I could do a verbal indication. I want to create a somatic experience where I want to do an audio cue, I want to do a movement cue, and also my energy of how much I put in it might indicate the reaction. So maybe I want to show that I try, but I can't do it. So I have the blaster, and Alexi does it again, but it wasn't good enough. And so I'll take it anyways, because that's going to create the drama for me. Because half of the win, I think a lot of times, in being a gamer myself, is I show up to these things and I'm like, okay, what is it that I do to win? What is it I have to do to get the thing out of this situation? When I was single and I'd go to the bars, I'd be like, well, I gotta get someone's phone number, I gotta dance with someone, I gotta go talk to some people, whatever. I had an agenda. You win at a Nordic LARP by showing up, and then it's just about what experience do I want to take out of this? And so, although I could just resist the intention of the Source that Alexi put on me, to drop the blaster and be like, no, I blast you now. Is that really what I'm looking for? What kind of drama do I want to have? What kind of emotional experience? And to keep things interesting, we just ask people not to repeat the same thing they just did, because otherwise it's just going to get into this weird game of chess where pieces just keep going all over each other. So it's about creativity. It's about expressing yourself, how much body movement, how much emotion can you put into it. And then at the end of the day, I, as the receiver, always get to make the call, so I'm in control of my experience. And it's not about losing. And sometimes I found that really hard at first, but then when I started doing this, and it was the most rewarding experience to have this shared experience. It could be a bad guy with a good guy, and it's amazing, And I think those ideas of bad guy and good guy too are kind of archaic, and there's some more interesting things that we can experience as these space legends, as it were. Yeah.
I think that's pretty much how conflict resolution works.
Yeah.
And to give credit where credit is due, a lot of these ideas come from many of the people we've role-played with in the past, many LARPs we've attended, and some of the mechanics were taken from the very popular College of Wizardry series, New World Magischola.
Awesome.
They do it with
awesome
spellcasting, and it works brilliantly. And we have no doubt that it's going to work great with this system as well.
The general idea with improv arts, right, which this is, because LARP is always improv, even if you have a plan and an agenda and you're going to schedule, the troopers of the storm to come out at 2 p.m., surprise, things happen, is you say yes as much as you're comfortable, and you can say yes, but, yes, and, but take it into a more emotional, exciting experience, and you can kind of see where things can go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Oof.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about, but it's like one of these things, like you get on the bike and then it just happens and you stop thinking and you just start doing.
So the Kickstarter, on the Kickstarter, the goal is $50,000. Where does the money go?
Well, the number one budget item is the battleship itself. As you can imagine, the battleship, cruiser, destroyer, submarine is fairly expensive. So it costs us about $23,000 to rent the battleship for Thursday through Sunday.
Which is
150 people.
Which is a deal. I mean,
yes, they are really working with us to create an affordable event, and they could be charging a much higher rental. So we're very fortunate to have Battleship Cove working with us. So $23,000 of that $50,000 is committed to the rental. Then you throw in catering, which I don't know if you've ever tried catering on a battleship, but it's an expensive endeavor.
It's almost impossible.
We still don't have the final number, but it's going to be around 8,000 to 10,000 people, or $8,000 to $10,000 for 150 participants, plus the 30 to 50 staff members and volunteers that we're going to have.
Yeah.
So that already, we're down to $33,000 spent out of the $50,000 budget. That leaves us with $17,000 to pay our staff, to ensure, to get the bar operational and the cantina, to pay for the police presence, to make sure everyone's safe. And to do all of the production work, which putting on a large-scale event like this, we're not just throwing you on a battleship and saying, go forward and having everyone in costume. We create props, we create scenography. You're going to go into that battleship, there's going to be aspects of that battleship that are unique to our experience.
Yeah, we're gonna light it dramatically. We're gonna make it look super special. It's not gonna ever look or feel like this in a normal setting. Fallon brought up, we say we are imagination, and we really want to create awe-inspiring experiences for everyone, and we will not settle for anything less, because that's when you get excited and that's when you love life, and that's the goal, is to love life with some amazing people for 4 days. There's a lot of resources, and there's a lot of resources we've already put into it in good faith, and ultimately we're not looking to make money. We just want to have a cool LARP with our friends on a battleship. I love Luke Skywalker, so and I love Paul Atreides, and I love Neuromancer, and I love Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, and I've just recently read Snow Crash, and we really want to bring all of that together, Ender's Game, in an experience that, when you leave, you're just like, I can't even, it takes months, it's not just the experience, but I find with really exceptional LARPs that for months after, the satisfaction and the memories keep pushing me through every day, and it feeds my soul for almost a year in some cases. So that's our goal, and I mean, I'm committed to it, and I've been doing this over 10 years, so I know something, a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot. I'm so confused and figuring things out, but.
That's great.
That's basically how you take $50,000 and you run a sci-fi LARP on a battleship.
There you go.
Kind of cool.
It must be really so much fun to create these. I mean, you're at home, you're writing all the characters, you're setting up these worlds and these places and these different conflicts between factions.
Well, so you have three major factions. We call them the Sidhe, the Myth, and the Tuath. And each of these factions has different motivations of what they want to see the universe as, how they want people to live their lives, how they want society to be organized. And you have the Sidhe, who believe that in the natural cycle of life and death, where they think that everything has its natural time of passing, and that society should embrace that value and make that important. You have the Myth, who are all about spreading life. They think that we should expand into any corner of the universe we can and impose this idea of creation everywhere. And then you have the Tuath, who are more about preservation. They care about prosperity. They care about economics. They're looking to make people's lives better and focus on the here and now rather than creating new life or rather than honoring that which needs to pass. And these three factions, we really delve deep into the philosophy.
Yeah.
They have different priorities and they solve situations differently. And that's the crux of what's going on at Legends of the Stars, because the negotiations will have three different options, and everyone's going to have to decide, how do I want to vote? Which philosophical method am I going to follow in making these decisions? And every single participant's ideas and thoughts are going to matter because every single vote is going to go into determining the fate of the universe.
Exciting.
Yeah.
totally mind-blowing.
Beautiful.
It's a
and that's
cool
interesting, and it'll say a lot about the people involved. Now, will they get assigned positions, like as people start to sign up?
That's a great question. I think the idea is that there would be 150 characters written, and they all there's a spectrum of archetypes made, and some of those archetypes will support each other, some of them will kind of contrast each other, and some of them will just be at odds with each other. But at the end of the day, we want you to, as the player, as a participant, to do what it is that you want to do. So if something on your character card says something that doesn't resonate with you, change it. Use it as a springboard. If my character says that I like to bully people, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be that character. I could either choose to just ignore that, do something new, or maybe my character's had a change of heart, and I decided I don't like bullying, and I'm going to use that to kind of like hit a 90-degree angle and take it someplace else. And we're always open to, I want to do this, that. People can write their own stuff. I personally find a lot of fun when I get handed a piece of paper that kind of gives me an agenda and a little bit of a license to ill or be a certain way, and then some characteristics. That's really fun for me, but we're open to whatever it is that you're looking for an experience. If you came up to us and said, I want to be an X, Y, Z, then we're more than happy to do that.
We always say you have 4 days to have the adventure of a lifetime, so don't waste any of it doing something you don't like.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
like that a lot. That's great. Wonderful.
Well, thanks. Those are great questions.
Yeah, I know. This has just been really so lovely to have you both in to talk about this, because it's something that I very much would like to become more a part of and more to participate a lot more in. So
Keeps the adventure alive.
yes,
right?
it keeps the adventure alive. I love that on your website is we are imagination, and your mission statement really hits home. So I'd like to see this just be available to everyone viewing right now. Especially children, because when I was growing up, when I was a teenager,
God.
had I had this available to me or had I known about this, it would have been something that I really latched onto because I felt very much alone.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then just not able to.
Us creative types, where will we go?
Where do we go?
We go
We get that
now.
response a lot,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely valid. And I think our response to that is we felt the same way. So
Yeah.
we created the business.
Yeah.
We made this organization
Yeah.
explicitly because we felt the same way. We
Yeah.
wanted this when we were growing up. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So let's give it to people.
Yeah, we were
Let's-
definitely frustrated with what was going on, and instead of complaining, we found a solution and made it, essentially,
Yes.
And we're so grateful to every person who is willing to put us on their their show
Yeah.
or just take a chance and participate. I know it seems like this crazy thing that we're doing. We're pretending to be characters in the fictional universe on a battleship for a weekend. Every single person who is willing to take that risk, we are committed to giving them this sort of life-changing experience that we've seen in so many people in the past. And we're so grateful to the people who are willing to do that.
And we're grateful to you, so thank you so much. And yeah, I'd like to. This won't be like I said the last time. You have to come on the show again. Maybe we can do live outside in Union Square, something big. I mean, there's
Perhaps the toast could come to the battleship and
really?
do live right out of Legends.
That would be. That's definitely something, some sort of potential reality. So good. Thank you. All right. All right. So I guess we're gonna wrap it up. Leave it out on a song. I want something you're listening to right now. We're gonna end it on.
Leave it on a song.
Leave it on a
Time to think what song. It'd be like, get swifty.
Ah,
Get swifty in here.
get swifty
Take your pants off.
On battleship.
on the battleship.
Get swifty on. That's seriously. I'm gonna play Get Swifty on the battleship.
Oh, love you. Thank you so much. Yes. All right. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Continue tuning in. Watch the show. We're good.
Thank you.